Okay, so for the next part of this, the delivery system, how to make it exciting. So what we're doing is adding, and there'll be some videos down below to show that they're making ice cream now in 4 seconds with nitrogen. So it freezes it very, very, very quickly. But it also not only does that, it also has like a dry ice effect. So you see this cloud, of cold air that comes out. So in the tropics, of course, anyway, we're seeing that coming out is great. And the sound sounds like a choo-choo train because of it being shot out very quickly. And we would atomize, we're going to atomize the mixture and stuff that we have coming out the other side to make the combination. Our goal is to be able to have it so that you've got the nitrogen oxide that is infused into it, because that's laughing gas. So to make people laugh also. Now laughter yoga, laughter meditation, looking up what that is, and we'll have some videos down below. That is incredible for being able to have for health, and of course for advertising and stuff too. So, and delivering it on the beach, we're going to use drones. So those are little helicopter type things. They're remote controlled, about yay big with little things. We'll have a little video down below on what the drones can do. But what it'll do is we can deliver ice cream with a very low impact out to the people very, very quickly. So not unlike using Google Apps for Business, Google Hang-It, and so on and so forth here, where you can reduce your carbon footprint by a lot and it costs you a lot less. This is in line with what we want to do too. So imagine having a drone deliver ice cream to you on the beach, and you can use an application on your phone to be able to deliver it, and it just gets delivered to you by a flying remote control helicopter. Now those helicopters also, as we have one here, they have a headset you can put on, and you can fly it with your mind. So there is no controls and stuff like that. So it's called Puzzlebox. We'll put a video down below so you can see that too. With the there's other headsets and stuff you'll be able to see where that comes into play. But we're gonna have lots of things like that. The trick is what we found out is that the oceans have become 30% more acidic in the last 100 years than they should be, and that they've shown in the past that when it gets to about 32%, that you'll end up with a situation where we all go back to single-cell amoebas. We don't have enough oxygen for us to be here. So it's called Revolution. It'll be below. It's a documentary made by a Canadian that shows what's going on. But the bottom line is that we have less than 20 years to live. So when asking the kids, why is that happening? They said that it's human behavior. I asked, well, where does human behavior come from? They said schools, corporations, religion, media. So we asked them, how do they get the education to understand this stuff for people to to get this going? And they said, well, we need to be able to look at financially is the number one reason worldwide, the biggest reason why kids don't have access to education. So what's unique about this here is that the product margin on this is huge because it's over-ripened fruits that you can get at the stores. So the margin is like 70, 80, 90% depending on where you get the products and stuff like that. So not only is it nutritious and less expensive, it's a huge, huge industry, the ice cream industry, frozen desserts industry. But they can make a lot of money from it. So this is something the kids can do. It's nutritious, low cost. These machines, this one here is $50, this one's $300. So it's not expensive to be able to get into business to do this. Go ahead.
So how is this related to education?
How it's related to education is self-organized learning environments, SOLs. So you'll see the videos down below for Sagata Mitra, won the TED Talk Award. One of the kids that used this is on the front cover of Wired magazine as being the next Steve Jobs of the world. And she's from Mexico, 12 years of age, and literally lives out of a dump next door to her school and where she lives. And her whole class is in the top 99 percentile, actually, so she's not just an anomaly. Also, CNN named Sagata Mitra and this soul stuff one of the top 10 thinkers in the world. So it's becoming very much in vogue. So it's just the next thing beyond. Just think of Waldorf and Montessori schools with computers added in, with an experiment that shows when you leave kids alone with computers, what happens is that it actually makes it so they can learn much more rapidly on their own, right? So that's really what this is all about. So the soul makes it more cost effective because you can get 16 years of education within 3 months. And that's without teachers. And this was shown with the Whole Noah project. So that's That's really what the education stuff is about. Did that help to answer it for you?
Sort of. I'm just trying to figure out, so ice cream, how does that relate to souls?
Ice cream? Good question. What we found out is that like the Waldorf schools were started by a gentleman named Steiner, and he started on a biodynamic farm, and also started with not just that, but it was also Waldorf and so on. They started with orphanages, and they were using quite a bit of kids basically that didn't have parents and didn't have were challenged in life and so on. So it was easier to work with them. So the parents weren't necessarily keeping them on track with the old ways of whatever was the same system. So what we found out though was anything that became viral that spread, that like the Independent Project, which happened in the States, which is an offshoot of Sagat Mitra's Hole in the Wall and self-organized learning environment, and the what's now called the School in the Cloud type stuff. So what happened was the Independent Project, which we'll show down below here in the videos, it was spread to 280 schools, and they were high schools. So the reason that happened was they turned the whole high school into an organic farm. So it's like it's like Jamie Oliver and the lunch school program. He showed the point grade average went up, that violence went down, bullying went down. Kids were just much healthier just by changing, and being able to retain information and get better grades from better nutrition. So it's all together. So it's basically, it's money first to get access. Number two, they have to be biologically available, chemically available, so you have to have good food. Then they can open their minds and their hearts and their souls to be able to get self-esteem, because we're really in the business of self-esteem. So allowing the kids to do this on their own with the soul type method, and being able to build a franchise that will go globally so the kids can do this. Now, we also showed the kids some alternative energy stuff too, so they can go with this, because they said, well, we need to make a lot of money quickly, right? So this ice cream / lemonade stand type thing is pretty cool and nutritious and stuff, but what's next? Well, in Bosnia, which we'll show some videos below, you can do your own research, they found about 6 years ago some pyramids in Bosnia. And it says to be the largest pyramid in the world, and it's so active because there's water beneath it. So what does that mean? Well, the kids looked up the pyramids in Bosnia because they're looking for free energy that was wireless, that heals you with no carbon emissions, and free communications wirelessly too. So that came up with Bosnian pyramids, which was interesting when they searched that. So how does that relate to a pyramid? Well, pyramids, the outside stones actually are insulators, so it keeps electricity and keeps energy in. The inside stones are a little bit radioactive and actually have materials in it that conduct. Underneath there, and this is a very rudimentary thing, there's videos we'll put underneath here that show you more detail. But the pyramids below, what happens there is that they actually have water moving around. And when water moves around with plates, well, you get a battery to create electricity, because that's what a battery is. It's a bunch of plates with metals in it. And then you have a saline solution, which is salt water, and away you go. You get electricity. Well, the water moving underneath the pyramid, there's crystals inside the pyramid too, and crystals will vibrate and create electricity also and intensify it and bring it to the top. So that's why you see around the world there's lots of pyramids that we're just discovering, but all the tops are up, because the tops on the top of it broadcasts out free electricity. So watch Ancient Aliens, and there's other things you can research on that yourself to find out. There's lots of information to show people that climb on top of the pyramids where their hair is standing up, and they can light up light bulbs and do certain things and so on. Even though the top's not even on it, there's still enough power going up there. So water running in parallel with something in between it like a crystal vibrating will create electricity. So if this sounds far out to you, this is actually very, very old school. So ask your grandparents about this. A crystal radio set. So what does that mean? A crystal radio set was a radio that you could listen to the radio, and a little light would show up on the dial so you could see what was going on. And it had no batteries, but you didn't have to plug it in. So there'll be a video below also for that, for crystal radios. So very, very inexpensive. You can still get little kits that kids put together. But now they're more refined, and they have better LEDs that are more efficient and stuff like that. Because these crystals, they're a certain size and shape with some coils that vibrate from the transmission from the tower. And that electricity that's sending information for the music and people talking is also used to be able to run the device from the crystal creating that. So that we took to the next level, which is there's a lot of cell phone towers that have been put up now. So you can actually get a crystal that actually is in tune with that frequency with some coils that gives you a lot of power. You can light up an entire bedroom with your laptops, everything, and so on and so forth, being trickle effect to be brought up to be able to use all day. So a lot of power in the air right now from cell phone towers that you can get with crystals. So that's when the kids could actually have a hands-on kit for $35 to $50 to build a kit to see that, oh yeah, I get this pyramid stuff, this is great. Okay, cool, so maybe this is real. Now, they still ask, of course, how do you make a lot of money right away? Because, we're all dying very soon based on this countdown of less than 20 years from the acidity of the oceans. We have to change human behavior very quickly. So we have to change the school system and change people and change the behavior of eating. Well, when you create a demand for cacao, and these fruits and stuff, you're creating a demand for, with biodynamic, a rainforest. That's the only way you can get it, not with normal monoculture. So 75% of the forests are gone, and 90% of the fish stocks are gone around the world because the inefficiencies in the way that we create food. And carbon emissions, methane gas from cows, deforestation, that's all from the way that we actually get our food today. So if you use biodynamic farming, it actually reverses that by creating a demand for rainforest and normal type of, synergistic, many different types of plants in one area type stuff. Back to making really lots and lots and lots of money. The kids looked up the pyramids in Egypt, and what they found was, in Wikipedia, is that they made $15 billion last year directly related to tourism for the pyramids in Egypt. Now, Egypt, if you've ever been there, of course, is not the nicest place necessarily to visit because of geopolitical issues and the climate and so on and so forth. It's no Disneyland, it's no Vegas, definitely. So, $15 billion is a lot. So, I asked the kids to be able to take a look for, where there may be another pyramid around the world that people haven't found yet, and if it could even be bigger and more profound. Well, where there's a pyramid, it's warmer, things grow faster, people are healthier, people live longer, there's lower violent crime. All these interesting effects happen right around these pyramids, because these pyramids create a toroidal event. So it's a toroidal event. So it's like the North and South Pole on the planet, there'll be videos down below, creates this electromagnetic field that goes, picture the planet like this, and then from the North Pole to the South Pole, there's an electromagnetic field that comes from the North and South Pole. And that protects us in many different ways. So pyramids do the same thing. They enhance that, but in a smaller area. So with the pyramids, you can look around and find this. Well, the kids went on the internet and found out that, where's the place where people live the longest, lowest violent crime rate, most biodiverse. You have to have the salt water. You have to have lots of iron. You have to have ley lines, which you can find videos on down below, or continental plates come together, which is even more powerful than ley lines. So what they found was a place called Costa Rica, and there's a mountain called Chirripó. Chirripó, translated in English, is eternal waters. Now Chirripó happens to be an area where what they call Discovery Channel and National Geographic a blue zone, where people live longer than anywhere else on the planet. Also, lowest violent crime rate on the planet. If you look on the FBI and CIA website and so on, you'll find that Costa Rica has the lowest violent crime rate in the world. Also the most biodynamic. Also the most biodiverse in the world. More different types of species of birds and so on and so forth. So what's interesting about Costa Rica, we'll show you down below with some stuff, is it's 13,000 feet high. So it's much, much bigger than anything else that they call Pyramid Bay by far, like many times over, not just by a little bit. And there's two oceans on either side. So there's these two huge electrolytes, right, which is your saline solution on either side, right? I'm just speaking in generalizations because there's some islands out there and stuff, they don't necessarily call it the ocean on the Atlantic side. But you have two huge saline solutions right there on either side. There's 3 continental plates that come together underneath the pyramid, which is a lot of energy. High iron content in the soil. More super lightning there. Look at Canyo Island. The videos down below and links to that. Where there's more super lightning than anywhere else on the planet. And that's the place where you find the largest pyramid in the world. So now, since nobody knows about that, and Costa Rica is already a great place for tourism, it's already set up for that, has great infrastructure, great culture, very open to the world, geopolitically neutral, many, many things going for it. So the kids figure they can make easily $30 to $50 billion by showing off the largest one in the world, and it being in Costa Rica. So what the kids want to do is make enough money to be able to de-zombify their parents, because they're chemically unavailable, so they call them zombies. So they're going to de-zombify them with this food, make money from the zombies, make enough money to be able to buy the planet back from their parents, so they can say, my planet, I pay the bills, my rules, and change all the rules. So that's really what this is all about. Being the business self-esteem, and the kids making enough money to put the tops back on all the pyramids around the world, because every 26,000 years there's a cycle where major things happen on this planet. And you have to go near where these pyramids are and these terrestrial experiences are to protect people, kind of like a Noah's Ark of the planet type stuff, to get through these issues that are about to happen. Like in Bosnia, they've shown the pyramids to be 40,000 years old.